Welcome, age of vintage society. What is it with some men and their love for sex with different women? Some say it's a hobby, others think it's natural, but almost all those who do this will tell you that it's a talent, and most times seem to be proud of it, like the famous Warren Beatty. He was strangely estimated to have slept with about 13,000 women over 6 decades of his Hollywood career, amidst love controversy and heartbreak for his victims. No need to ponder this, it's simply innocent affection from a man who once treated women like disposable wine cups that are used and emptied into a trash can. Do you think Warren Beatty slept with 13,000 women? Make sure to watch the video until the end and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you're new here, join our wonderful community by subscribing to the Age of Vintage channel. The first time I heard the report about Warren Beatty and his unbelievable number of affairs with several women, I scrambled for my calculator and did a few arithmetics about it. You don't need to blame me, because I was just trying to put 2 and 2 together. And what was my finding? It will take him more than 35 years to sleep with that number of women if he was going on 1 woman per day every single day of each year. This is very unlikely. I still think the number is exaggerated. Then some people think it was possible because he did not just have them daily, he was having multiple women daily, and never bothered about repetitions. This one too is faulty because he was in a relationship with many for years, and so some of the things you may have heard about him may just be fiction, just like his movies. But beyond my doubt, a few things impressed me about Beatty and his extraordinary dating history, just like his impressive acting talent. Though some of his romantic meanderings caused issues for some of the women he dated, notable was one with Natalie Wood, who was reported to have severed her relationship with her husband because of him, even as Beatty claimed he was nice to his mistresses. Remarkably, Warren Beatty's acting career is as famous as his romantic life, and the notoriously multiple relationships seem to have synchronized with his personality in such a way that it never affected his multi-talented career. Beatty was indeed a fine actor. Some said he had the magic of perfectly interpreting movie scripts as a Hollywood leading man, but behind the scene he nurtured the charm that served him, the way studies served doctors, the charm for attracting women. A writer once suggested that if there is anything like the best Hollywood lover boy of his era, Beatty would have been topping the list very easily with his romantic lifestyle. When recently an unofficial biographer, Peter Biskind, projected that Warren Beatty had slept with just about 13,000 women all through his career, the curiosity raised is not something we can take as a pinch of salt. For several decades, gossip and news reports had heralded the actor's dating spree, including what could be described as a series of prestigious names on his list of female catches, before he eventually settled with actress Annette Bening in 1992. Beatty, as an established womanizer, never planned on getting married, the reason why he did so at 54, with some saying he only succumbed because Annette Bening got pregnant and insisted that she was not doing his usual thing, abortion. Rumours have it then that he told her to get rid of it, but she refused and challenged him to do his worst because she was ready to have her baby, and when he saw that the odds were against him, he soft-pedalled, and years later he was telling fans that he loved being a father. I can understand why his affairs with women are extremely high. It will interest you to know that from the peak of his career in the 1950s to the 1990s, Beatty slept with nearly every female co-star he worked with, and to make it very disgusting, these ladies included the ones either married or in an engagement relationship. When he was asked about the hullabaloo coming from his lifestyle with several women and the strange number being brandished in the public domain, he made it look like he was bedding women daily for 35 years, which amounted to 12,775 people. The rumours of his romances are very weighty, as unsubstantiated accounts suggested that Beatty also took his womanizing to the high and mighty, including one with a sitting First Lady who is a member of the British royal family. It did not matter to him whether the women were older or much younger, as long as they were cute and classy. They were welcome to his flirtatious pranks. Some people applauded him for marrying just one woman and remaining in marriage with his wife owing to his reputation as an infamous philanderer, But I don't share that opinion because it seemed he had exhausted most of his prowess at the time he decided to settle. More so the fact that the marriage has not ended like most Hollywood marriages may just be because his wife decided to stay and tolerate his excesses, which is applaudable in my estimation. After reading about Beatty, I feel that it would have been very foolish for the women to keep acceding to his request, and he kept changing them like clothes while his wife was at home. Just like Beatty's elder sister, Shirley MacLaine observed, it's a miracle he excelled prominently and remained an important figure in Hollywood, a man who was said to have bridged the gap between the Golden Age studio system and the easy-going method of the 1970s. Describing Warren Beatty, Peter Biskind thought he was Captain Cool, Mr. Natural. His appeal was legendary through his handsome and smart look. Take it or leave it, Beatty was a brilliant filmmaker who directed both big and low-budget movies. When he is not doing a leading man job with those stunning looks, he was seen scripting. Other times he produces or directs, making him a genius, even with one eye always open to get a fresh lady to bed. Who said his talent is not due recognised in the industry after over 14 Oscar nominations in several areas of the awards category? Recall that he has the same merit as Orson Welles for being nominated in 4 Oscars for 1978's Heaven Can Wait and Reds in 1981. After very remarkable affairs with the likes of Julie Christie, Beatty was glued to Annette Bening, his wife. Their marriage may have lasted more than 23 years and still counting. Warren Beatty's personal life is the epitome of what Hollywood can do to a man. He even developed special hook-up lines for the ladies that also form his greetings. What's New, Pussycat? And sooner, highly creative producers took it as a movie title that became a hit film and a classic song. Recall that his womanizing style allegedly inspired Carly Simon's You're So Vain, as she later acknowledged. I still cannot tell how Beatty managed his affairs with women, but we can always depend on what those who encountered him said. An ex-fiancée, Joan Collins, thinks that he was the only man to get to the mirror faster than herself. That should practically give us a clue about Beatty, even as he lived in a street nicknamed Bad Boy Drive with Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando. Born as Henry Warren Beatty in 1937 in Virginia to Kathleen Corrine and Ira Owens Beatty, coming from a parent who excelled in the teaching profession and growing up in a Baptist family, he sure had a somewhat memorable childhood under an umbrella of ladies, including his mother, sister, aunts and great-aunts. Against this background and a mob of female cousins, he, fortunately or unfortunately, stayed a virgin until he was 19, but with a heavy urge for connection he dreamed about women and wished they threw themselves on him. Beatty was inspired to be an actor as he started escorting his older sister to theatres and was said to have been influenced by a particular film. When he finally joined acting, Beatty seemed to have his idea on set. Those who worked with him then might not like his choices, which he acknowledged when he said he used to come up with suggestions about the script, the lighting, the wardrobe, and crew members would be asking if he is acting or producing the movie. This is the reason he went into production, so he could make his films rather than just act. His diversified talent is the type that saw him writing, producing, directing and starring in his movies, and that is why, according to his sister MacLaine, he's more comfortable behind the camera. He desired to be in full control of every aspect of production. It has been a great journey for this great personality, who is today an inspiration for a lot of wannabe Hollywood talent, but funnily fans are currently more interested in his romantic life at this time than his achievement in the industry. So we are still hoping to learn more from him as an all-time alpha male hero retired. Of course, at his age, womanizing may just be history. I'm not sure about this. Beatty, I guess, should have been a second-generation grandpa at the moment. If he had started producing kids during the period he was frolicking with the likes of Julie Christie, Barbra Streisand, Carly Simon, Stephanie Seymour and Janice Dickinson, among others. But he had also defended himself recently when he contended that he didn't do anything wide of the mark by being such a playboy. I never misled anyone. I'm a nice guy, he had said. I'm one of those who would not agree with his nice guy claim, if only all of the women he had encountered would do a production about his character, just like Carly Simon did with her hit song, You're So Vain. The last time I checked, the word vain is synonymous with useless. I beg your pardon, I need to listen to that song again. Though some of the ladies have simply made a joke about their affairs with Beatty, his philandering got a brake pedal deceleration when he met and tried his tricks on San Francisco-trained theatre actress Benning, but she taught him a lesson that none of his women ever did. After using her in Bugsy, several other things followed, including pregnancy. Some think Benning was a hard nut to crack, others think she made him accountable. And before we could say Jack Robinson, Benning hauled him to the registry, and the jinx of 54 years of bachelorhood left him for more responsible family life, as the duo was married in 1992, and they have since had 4 kids to their credit. He waited this long to get married and blamed the industry for that. Today he is telling fans that the kids are the best thing that happened to me. Beatty said he always knew he needed to have children, saying that, "I wanted to do it well." His definition of well is what baffled me, because I'm not sure I agree with him if he must put a girl in a family way before he says "I do," which is exactly what he did. He might have been an attentive father, which appears to be normal, at least with his age. That is what he should be doing. That was why when he said, "I have to struggle not to be overly attentive," I think it was an overstatement. Beatty's romantic conquest cuts across the entertainment circle, including but not limited to actresses, singers and pop stars. He was also linked with Bond girls plus Brigitte Bardot, but one lady who was very vocal about her love for Beatty and his charms is none other than actress Natalie Wood, who acknowledged being influenced by his appeal. Critics say their relationship was both pleasurable and heartbreaking for this leading lady. The two met on set in 1961, when they co-starred in the Splendour in the Grass production. Soon his charm so infatuated the actress that she followed him off-screen in what some described as a crazy romance that even made her contemplate suicide, forgetting that she was dealing with a classical playboy. It was so bad for Wood that it sometimes seemed everything had ended, but she didn't want it to end, leading to so much pain and distress until she was reported to have attempted to kill herself by drinking sleeping pills. But more disheartening is the fact that all this was happening while she was still married to another man. Perhaps no man can tolerate such isolation, as the affair reportedly ended her marriage with Robert Wagner. It would be an understatement to say that it further complicated her life, because her affair with Beatty led her to nowhere but misery. Not too long, Wagner admitted that he almost implemented his plan of killing Beatty when he heard about their relationship in 1961, but for one thing. Wagner equally envied Beatty for his ways with women, the more reason he almost soiled his by planning to do a nasty thing. Even though Wood and Wagner later reconciled and remarried for the second time in 1972, it was still not clear what may have led to Wood's death in 1981, after she was reported to have drowned. A lot of people still believe that her death was a homicide. But for Beatty, he had triumphed, enjoyed his enduring marriage, and still lives to tell stories alongside his celebrity wife. Apart from perfectly avoiding scandal, he was said to have comfortably become a devoted father. Beatty was quite a genius with women. The likes of Jane Fonda thought he was so cute that she wondered if he was homosexual. Beatty would later describe Fonda as the girl is the most creative in bed. By the time he met and connected with Joan Collins, an astonishing beauty that was being compared to Elizabeth Taylor, everyone thought it was a perfect match. On what Joan thinks of Beatty, she said he prefers to build his women. "I had to stop drinking because Warren does not drink. Take vitamins because he did," she said, adding that Beatty would call her on the phone 36 times daily. He was also voracious and was ready to go 3 to 4 times every day. The way Beatty managed his womanizing, his career, and later his marriage, I can't help but agree with those who said he has something those in Hollywood referred to as star quality. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to support my work, please visit my Patreon page. There is no doubt about Warren Beatty's sexuality, but why people were sure about Frank Langella's homosexuality? Watch this video.